back to my bathroom. This is episode 6 of the haircutting series. Today we're doing a graduation haircut together. Woo! Make sure you subscribe, like, click the bells. I'm here for you every single Sunday in this bathroom. Oh yeah, and this is page 410 in the Milady book if you're following me from school, in school, whatever. But please note, I'm not really doing it exactly like your book. I'm gonna show you an easier way to get there. There's a lot of different ways to do this haircut, so let's just remember that. I'm just a girl in my bathroom, okay? This isn't the gospel. Everybody, meet Delaney. She's our model today. So we're gonna part her off into 4 big quadrants. You can either do a middle part, or if your client always parts her hair to the left, you're gonna part it to the left. But you wanna clarify with her that if I cut it this way, you need to style it this way. Same for the right. If she's unsure or wants it for her natural part, Delaney, look at the camera. You're gonna comb sister back. You're gonna take your claws and you're gonna poof, poof, poof. The hair will start to fall where it naturally lives. Now, because this is a mannequin, she's gonna fall in the middle, but I'm actually gonna cut her, I'm gonna give her a sexy side part. Does that look good? So we're gonna do that to the side. Whoop! At the apex, which is the highest point of the head, where your comb balances. We're gonna go straight downtown. Should land right behind the ear. I like to just take a little tail from the back, wrap it around, and clip it up. You're always going to clip away from the client's face because she's gonna be on her phone reading, she's gonna be doing something. Those googly eyes. We're gonna match the other side. So here's the front, 2 big quads. Now in the back, no matter how you section this off, it's going to be straight down the middle. Put your finger where you want it to land, right here, and meet the comb to the finger. Bing! Just like this. Now we're gonna create our basic shape, a triangular shape. This is gonna set the stage. Sorry, I just took my retainer out. Again, S's are hard. It's going to set the stage for how short this haircut is going to be. It's also your guide for this whole entire haircut. On our diagram here, we did straight down the middle for our 4 quads. Our first parting is gonna be diagonal forward. It's going to look like that. Same thing on the other side. If you were to magically connect these, it would be a triangle. Well, that's a bad one, but it's a triangle. A lot of people will call this cut a triangular cut, that's what I call it, or a wedge cut. Your book is saying graduation. So we're gonna be making a parting that looks like this, diagonal forward. When we cut matching this, the hair is shorter in the middle, going to longer on the sides to create that stacked or graduation look. Cutting at heart level. I'm gonna be standing kind of away to give you the best point of view, but please note when you're cutting, you're always directly in front of what you're cutting, excuse me. Tripping on my English today. We're gonna tilt her head down a little bit. We're gonna take a diagonal forward subsection or parting line. Looks like this. It's a diagonal line and it's gonna push the hair forward. And this is a pretty thin subsection because we're gonna cut this all in one chunk. See how it's making a triangle? Now, depending on how dramatic you want your angle in this cut, you can make this a milder diagonal forward or you can make it steeper, really dramatic. Think of, what's her name? Got the sexy husband, Victoria Beckham. Think of that. When we cut this basic shape, our parting line again, diagonal forward. Finger position or how I'm holding the hair, also going to be at diagonal forward. Cutting position, how I'm actually cutting, also diagonal forward. We're mirroring this. Diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. And we're cutting this at 0 degrees. We're not way up here or way over here. It's right where the hair lives. We're cutting it. I'm gonna cut this middle part first. Cut, cut, cut. Just a little piece. Now we're gonna start angling this. Comb matches my parting line. Combing this down, and I'm using just the tip. And it's angled. We're using our comb and cutting against the skin. If I use my fingers, it's a lot easier, but my fingers create a graduation. And I'm trying to get this as close to 0 degrees as possible. A lot of times if I do this cut in the salon and it's a short like this, I'll take the clippers and meep, 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 meep to make my basic shape, just so it's nice and crisp and clean. You have a little bit more control that way. We're gonna go through and mirror this other side. Comb, angled, diagonal, 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 cutting, diagonal, using just the tip, recombing. Now you're gonna have your basic shape. It's short, going to long. We're gonna square up with our client, make sure her legs aren't crossed, shoulders back for us, feet on the floor, and we're checking for balance. Are these even? This one is not. No worries, I'm gonna correct it. I'm not gonna wait till I'm done with the whole haircut. Now we're gonna break this up into 2 pieces because it's overwhelming to cut all of this at once with what we're gonna do. So at the occipital bone, which is where, if you put your comb here, it's where it lifts off the head. You can feel it, it's a bone. And we're going to do the same sort of parting. Diagonal forward. All this gets pinned up. Now we're cutting vertical, straight up and down. So it's a little bit different from how we've been cutting. It's going to look like this. Starting in the middle, you're gonna take a subsection. If you need to, especially if this is your first time, clip this away because this is going to confuse you. Where are the clips? Okay, so we've got a strip, a little mohawk of hair here. How we're cutting is not completely vertical like this. That would create a round layer because the head is round when our fingers follow the head shape. We are telling the hair that we want to create a triangle cut, so a 45-degree cut. See how this would make a triangle? Your guide is what you just cut. It's down there. And you're following that. You're using your crab claws, little pinchers, okay? You're coming in and it can be a little overwhelming. Don't get overwhelmed. Take a deep breath. It's hard the first time. It gets a lot easier. Coming in, scooping up this hair, but you are directly in front. Your fingers should be pointed at the tip of your nose. Bing, bing, bing. Not over here, so you can see, boom. Shoulders back, feet on the floor. Everything is clean. I'm coming in with the fine teeth of my comb to get maximum tension, and my guide is what I just cut, the basic shape. So now I'm going in and I'm meeting my guide to make a diagonal line. When I release this, it's short going to long. I couldn't fit all that in my fingers, so I'm gonna combine it. I'm directly in front of my client, fingers to the nose, and I'm cutting with that line. Here we go again, we released it short to long. So now you have a graduation. This is your first stack. Beautiful. Now here's where things might get a little bit tricky. We're gonna start sectioning this off. We're taking another vertical section. Bing. And we are going to move this. This lives here. Look at it from the side. It lives out here. What we just cut lives right here. We're gonna move this side to the middle. Why would we do that? When we over direct hair, move it out of its home, we kind of change its shape. In our case, when we're moving hair towards the middle, we're saving length. We want this cut to be rounded. We're not cutting that, what's her name? Kate plus 8 woman, Kate Gosling. We're not cutting a Kate Gosling haircut. We're not doing that, where it's just whoop and a big bang. No thanks, not in this bathroom. What that looks like for you. So the hair's living here. I'm gonna move it straight in the middle. Boom. I'm gonna show you at the side here. Again, I should be cutting directly in front. Do you see that guide? That's what we're gonna follow. We're not cutting below it, above it, we're cutting right against it. Okay, this is too overwhelming for me. Cut this top off. I don't wanna be overwhelmed right now. I see my guide connecting the dots. Now I can take the rest of this. Here's my guide, do you see it? Cutting. When we release it, short to long. And you don't have to worry about cutting the length because you already cut the basic shape. You shouldn't be cutting the actual very, very bottom of the hair. You did that in your first cut. Now all this hair is gonna yeehaw it into the middle. You're moving direction to create that shape. Direct it in the middle, following my guide. Missed a piece, whoopsie, hang on. Whoa. When we take all this as a whole, it should be a nice crisp line. And check her out from the side. We're starting to get a graduation, flowing. Okay, we're making sure the hair is evenly wet. We're mirroring this at the occipital bone. Is that even? No. Now I'm gonna take a middle section. Clip that away if you're feeling overwhelmed. Fine teeth of my comb. This is at my nose. Side point of view for you. That's too overwhelming, too much hair to cut. There's my guide. Meeting my guide, because my guide was that basic shape. Now I can add in this hair from the top. Combing to make sure there's no whoop-de-whoops at top because you're doing maximum tension, which means you're holding it tight. You're not whoop. If you do that, you've created a change of shape. Comb here. Connect the dots. I'm going to just finish this up. This is how I would cut it in the salon. I'm squared up with the client, fingertips to the nose, bing, 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 connecting the dots. Being careful, I don't really want to cut past my second knuckle. Could end up cutting that. That does hurt. Last piece. Everything is still towards the middle. Cutting, cutting. Now before we move on, we're checking. Are these even? If they're not, fix it. Don't continue on or try to hide something. They're gonna see it when they blow dry their hair at home, so just take your time. Side view, short going to long, graduated. Moving on, go ahead and take down this top back layer, making sure this is wet, combing it straight down to where it lives. And all you're doing now is repeating this. It just looks a little bit different. You're taking your vertical subsection. This is a lot of hair, so don't get overwhelmed. You're going in and you're cutting. This bottom part right here, that's your guide. You don't need this bottom part. You don't need to somehow magically do all that. You're not a wizard. You can't hold that much hair. And think about what you're doing. There's my guide. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but here's my guide. I'm cutting at a 45-degree angle. 45. I should be standing right here, but so you can see, I'm going to cut. See? There's my guide. That's what I just cut. Bing. You're not cutting all the way up here. That's a 180. That's a round layer. We're doing a triangle, so it should drop off of weight. Bing. Now we take another slice of pizza and we marry it and we're directing it towards the middle. Here's my guide. Finger position, diagonal. I'm cutting this backwards. I would be cutting it this way. Continue on. Directed towards the middle. Towards the middle, making sure I just made a mistake there. I'm gonna clean it up. Last piece, towards the middle. 45-degree angle. And I'm cutting. There's my guide. Cut. Release the beast. You're gonna be able to see it a lot better when it's dry, but the middle is the shortest part and gradually goes down. It's graduating this way and graduating this way. See how it's getting longer? Make sure we have a diagonal for it. See how it matches the part line? Whoop, can you see that? That's a little bit of a mistake when we're cross-checking. I left some weight, so I need to dissect this a little bit further. What happened right here? Something's wrong right here. It's not much, but let's correct it. We're gonna do the other side. So you can take this down. Remember, she's wet. We're not cutting our basic shape, which was our length, or what we've cut right here. That's already done. Starting in the middle, combing this to the side. Okay, all I need is that little piece from the bottom, this little guide. Finger position is angled and I'm connecting the dots. Recombing, connecting the dots. I missed a piece, hold up. Another subsection directed towards the middle. There's my guide, here's my guide at the bottom. Again, when we direct this towards the middle, that's how we're getting this curvature, this nice shape. Remember, we're not going for Kate Gosling. That would be everything where it lives. We're over directing. All right, for this top piece, you see my guide? Connect the dots. Finish this up. This is directed towards the middle. There's my guide. I'm gonna use that top as the guide, this little piece. And here we go. See how that's nice and clean? Bing, bing, cut the middle out. Now that I've completed both sides, I'm gonna go through and check for balance. Are these even? This one's not. It's just this side, so I've made a mistake somewhere around here. Where is it? Okay, there it is. I don't know if, can you see that? We'll check it more once it's dry. Your main concern is this even? Because if this side is longer, this front is going to be longer. All right, so now for the fun part, we're doing the front. We're gonna continue this line. We want the front to be longer, going to shorter in the back. On a diagram, here right behind the ear, that was our quadrant parting. We're gonna do a diagonal forward subsection or parting line. And we're gonna keep doing that up the head. The haircut will look like this. This will be her haircut. Depending on how dramatic you want this, you need to angle your parting line more. All right, Delaney, get on over here. Diagonal forward, bing. Diagonal line, pushing forward. Some people like to just comb it down and cut. Just kind of freehand it. That's awesome, that's cool. That's not how we're gonna do it today. Comb it where it lives. We're taking our crab claws and we're directing this back. Our finger position matches our parting line. So does our cutting. Bing, bing. I don't cut past my second knuckle, so I'm going to recomb this. Bing, matches my parting line. I'm doing a pretty dramatic cut or angle. When I release, I have long going to short. Another subsection, diagonal forward. Should be able to read a newspaper through my subsection because I need to actually see my guide through this. I'm not making this up. Everything is following the line. Cut that in half because that can be overwhelming. Here we go. Here's my guide. You can see through it. Bing, 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 bing. Adding in this other hair. Whee! There's my guide. Eventually my guide's gonna run out, and that's where I'm just following the line. I'm making a super dramatic one because Delaney is Feeling sassy. When you over direct the hair back like this, you don't really have to worry about leaving room for the ears. If you're cutting it like this at 0 degrees, you do have to worry about the ears. You have to allow that the ear is going to stick out. So if you're cutting it straight and then cut, you've got a dang hole. Hard to fix that. Because we're over directing the hair back, we're leaving a little grace room. So I wouldn't hold like really tight tension, but it's not going to make a hole. Check it out, there's no hole. There is a mistake though, hold up. Okay, saw that. This is our last subsection piece on this side. I'm gonna cut this in half, that's way too much going on for me. Directing this back. Now when I'm doing this, I'm at a 0 degrees pretty much. I'm not out here cutting. That's gonna create a layer. Me personally, I like to layer the back in the cut. Cut this all the front at one length and then go back and razor cut some layers in, because usually or typically the front doesn't have a whole lot of layers. Here we go, moving it out of its home. Following my line. The more I swing my hair back like this, the more length I'm saving, the more dramatic it's going to be. So for me, I want this to be super dramatic. So I'm taking this girl and I'm going all the way back, but I'm still cutting at a diagonal forward. I'm not cutting straight up and down, slightly tilted. Okay, now you can look at the front and see the dramatic angle. This is a triangular cut. Real quick, I'm going to match this side. This will only have maybe 3 cuts because we parted it to the side. Taking a slice, bing, moving that out of my way. Over directing, finding my guide. It's right there. This side is a lot longer because it has the bulk of hair. This has less hair on this side. So you can either leave it like this for when they comb their hair back, or you can carve bangs into it. If she wants them, I mean, we're not just gonna like carve bangs just cause, okay? We're gonna ask. I'm going to blow dry this and then I'm gonna show you how to refine this. So I'll be right back. I'm just gonna do a basic blow dry with a round brush, kind of curl this under. Here she is after she's dry. It's a very dramatic angle, as you can see. Now, if you wanted to lessen this, you're going to tilt and not make your parting line so dramatic. Mine was like this, so I got this cut. So if I wanted it less dramatic, I tilted a little bit upwards. In the back, it's also at a 45, and it has too much weight here. It's carrying a ring of weight where we kind of dropped off. To fix that, I'm gonna use thinning shears, take it the way I cut it, and just kind of snip on the ends. Just remember when cutting with these that the teeth are on the top, so it doesn't make a scissor mark in the hair. Also here at the corner is where hair carries a lot of weight. You can either use your thinning shears just at the corner to kind of get rid of that bulk, or you could create a soft layer. Here's the other side, and I can see that I have made a mistake, so I'm just gonna snip that off. For this, you can do whatever. This is the bang area, so you can carve some bangs really quickly, and I'm just cutting a rough, basic shape. You can cut some bangs on it, go through, I'm gonna feather it out with a razor comb. You could then go through and carve layers in here if you wanted to. You could take it up, keep your length, which is right here, and point cut some layers. We'll get into that in another episode, but this is a good basic shape. That's it. Thanks for joining me here in the bathroom. If you have any questions, comments, make sure to leave them below. All the timestamps, products I use, like this mannequin, it's in the description box. Would recommend. This one's actually not too bad. Next Sunday, I'm working on my other series. It's for like serious and stuff, but the following week, we'll do another haircut in the bathroom. Don't forget on my website, there's free printables, guides. I don't think printables is a word. There's free guides to these. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time for something cool. Something cool.